Um, so, welcome everyone. Thank you for coming to the another series, webinar series. Today we have Tian, Associate Professor in the University of Arkansas System. Nana and I went to Mississippi together, so we have been friends for quite some time.
Yeah, that's true.
And then we parted our way, and it's so nice to meet again back here.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a homecoming for us. So now, with further ado, I would like you to introduce and talk about your research. And thank you for accepting our invitation and doing this.
Sure. Thank you. So thank you, Razu. I really appreciate the opportunity for coming here. And again, hello everyone. I'm Nana Tian, and from the University of Arkansas system. So why I say the system instead of saying University of Arkansas at Monticello, it's because for me, we have the split kind of appointment. So 70% of my responsibility is focusing on research. So for that part, actually belongs to the University of Arkansas and Fayetteville. But the 30% of the teaching, we teach forestry related class in Monticello. So that's why we just always say the University of Arkansas system. But for the topic that I will talk about today, it's really about the Climate Smart project, which was awarded by the USDA last year. So, from the slides, it's kind of has a long title. That's kind of the title when we submitted our proposal. But the central idea for this project actually just try to restore the bottomland hardwood forests. So that's a very unique wetland ecosystem in Arkansas, especially in the Delta region. And before touching on to that project, I still would like to give myself a brief introduction from both my education background as well as my work experience. So basically, I get my bachelor's degree from Shandong Agricultural University, which is located in Shandong Province, China. And I also finished a master's degree in forest economics from the same university. And my original plan actually was just to try to hunt for a job after getting those two different degrees. But life is always full of magic, right? So when I was graduating, there was a group of professors from Mississippi State. They visited the university and introduced me the graduate student position. So obviously I applied and they offered me the offer. So I went to the Mississippi State Starkville and finished a master's degree in forest ecology. And after getting those degrees, I was just kind of thinking, why not a PhD, right? So that's why I went to the University of Tennessee and finished my doctorate degree in natural resources. And then at the same time, I just realized myself really just interested in statistics, in data analysis. So that's why at the same time, I got the third master's degree from the statistics, statistics department from the Tennessee. And after graduating, obviously, those 5 different degrees, they do help me for hunting for a job here. So after graduating, I just get, kind of multiple offers, but I decided to accept the offer from Texas A&M Forest Service. So that's a forest economist position. It's an entry level kind of position. And the major reason for me going there, just because from that position, I really have a lot of opportunities to talk with the foresters, talk with the landowners. So from that kind of experience, I really learned what's going on in the field and what's the real issues the landowners are facing in forestry. So I stayed there for about 1.5 years. And then I got a call from Dr. Pelkey from the University of Arkansas at Monticello. Actually, I submitted my application materials in 2017 when I was graduating. But obviously, they have some kind of delay for the position. So I got a call in 2018, and then just kind of finished, the first round of interview, and then on-site interview, and then they offered me the faculty position from the University of Arkansas. And then I was thinking, sure, with a PhD degree, going back to the academia world is kind of my long-term career plan. So that's why I went to the University of Arkansas in the fall of 2019. And then I have been there for about 4.5 years now. So this February just promoted to associate professor. So that's basically just kind of summarize all my education background as well as a little bit of work experience. So, and speaking of my research, because I'm a forest economist, so most of my research projects is really focusing on economic related issues, and also sometimes combine a little bit human dimension theory to answer the sustainable related questions in the natural resource management. But because I do have a background in forest ecology, so occasionally some projects are also kind of focusing on that regard. So specifically, I have some kind of ongoing projects. And I think in a little bit, I will show you the ongoing projects. So for the teaching in the UAM, I just kind of teach the natural resource economics. That's an undergraduate level class, and also natural resource policy. And then for the graduate level class, basically just teach the applied statistics. So teach the graduate students some basic data analysis skills for different kinds of data. And here, this table just kind of summarized some of my ongoing research projects. So we will talk about the first one today. So this is the Climate Smart project. You know, it's kind of my biggest grant until now. It's $3.7 million. And then I do have some other kind of smaller projects. So a total of around $4 million. So, you know, from those kind of projects, you can see that I have the economic part, ecology part, and also some invasive species. That's really kind of about forest management. So that's kind of covered all my kind of research part. And this is basically just kind of my very brief introduction for myself. And then before going to the Climate Smart project, here I just include a very close project we have done, which provides some fundamental data and also fundamental model for us to apply for the Climate Smart project. So actually, this is the first project I have done when I went to the University of Arkansas. So from this project, we published, you know, 2 different papers, and both of them are open access. And if some of you are interested in the bottomland hardwood forests, you know, I will just introduce some of them for this project, but will not cover all the detailed information. So just go ahead to download the paper for more details, or just feel free to ask me. And the objective for this project actually is just try to develop some growth models for the red oak species, which is located in the bottomland hardwood forests, and also try to develop some stem profile models. And the red oak species in this project really focus on cherry bark oak, nut oak, as well as the shroomad oak. And we also measured the wood density, just to try to compare the carbon content among the different red oak species. And then we also collected some secondary data, try to, you know, examine how the red oak species respond to the possible climatic change conditions. So that's basically the objective for this project. And to address all those objectives, we have some preliminary data and also secondary data. For the preliminary data, or for the primary data, sorry. So we collected those data actually is from the Petrie Research Station. So it is located in the Delta region of Arkansas. So for this site, it's a 30-acre hardwood plantation. And previously it was a bean field and was enrolled in the CRP program. So I think this map and also the image here, this showed a little bit kind of information about that site where we collected our primary data. And I think, yeah, on this slide, there is a more clear image. So you can see that we, on this site, we totally have 12 different plots. And 3 different red oak species, they were randomly assigned into different plots. And for each red oak species, it has 4 different replications. So that's why just, you know, 3 times 4 is 12 plots. And all the seedlings on all the trees on this plot actually were hand planted in 2004. So the plot size is around 225 by 225 feet, and then with a 10 feet by 10 feet spacing between rows. And again, from this image, you can see that the different colors represent different red oak species and randomly assigned into the different plots. So that's basically where we collected our data. And here, on this site, we just kind of randomly select a total of 60 trees. And 60 trees, 3 red oak species, so that's 20 trees per species. And then, we measured the DBH, the total height. And after that, we just fell all those 60 trees down and then clear the branches along the bole and then divide the bole into different sections. So each section is about 6 foot long. And from each section, we extracted some discs or cookies, just try to do, more data measurements. So, and, we bring back all the cookies from the field into the lab, and then measured the fresh weight, the dry weight for each disc, and then also measured the diameter outside bark, and also the diameter inside bark, and also using the cross-dating method to determine the number of rings on each cookie to determine the age. And we mentioned the wood density, so we also measured the weight and also using different methods to measure the volume using weight divided by volume, get the wood density. So that's basically some primary data we collected from both the field and also in the lab. And speaking of the secondary data, the climatic condition related data, so we downloaded the data from this system, the Applied Climate Information System, and the climatic condition index here mainly just refers to temperature and also precipitation. So for the temperature, we have the observed data between 2005 to 2018, because, for our primary data, it was hand planted in 2004, and we fell them down in 2019. So that's why we just kind of observed the data for the temperature, and the temperature mainly just includes monthly. It refers to monthly temperature, but it has maximum temperature, average temperature, as well as minimum temperature. And then using different models to try to project or predict how the temperature might change between 2030 to 2049, and also how it might change between 2080 to 2099. So that's the temperature data. And then we also kind of did the similar thing for the precipitation. So monthly precipitation, and also observed projected for different time periods. So that's kind of the secondary data we collected. And I didn't include a lot of mathematical formula here because I think from the open access paper, if you are interested, they really has a very detailed description for the mathematical part. But here we just kind of summarized some key findings, but I do not want to read them more detail, one by one, but I do kind of summarize the key findings from this project here in one sentence. So we just realized that the projected climate change is likely to create a slightly more favorable overall climatic condition for the red oak species in the Delta region. And also the carbon contents are different among different red oak species. And also we developed some growth models based on the data we collected. So those models actually provide some kind of preliminary model for the climate smart project we are applying for. So, after kind of enter the very kind of closing up this project, we just realized that there was a request for proposal from the USDA in the spring of 2022. And then we are just kind of thinking, using that project as a foundation kind of project. So we drafted our idea or our proposal to apply for this one, the climate smart project. So the USDA just always call it climate smart. So what does that mean? What does climate smart mean? So guys, any guys? Climate smart. Yeah, very close. So actually, I cited the definition from the USDA website for climate smart commodity. So it just referred to a climate smart commodity is an agricultural commodity that is produced using agricultural, includes farming, ranching, or forestry practices that reduce greenhouse gas emission or sequester carbon. So based on this kind of definition, and then back to our project, we just kind of thinking, bottomland hardwood forests is a very important wetland ecosystem for Arkansas. And then if we try to restore this forest land ecosystem, then we can produce high quality wood products, right? That's the oak species. And obviously this type of forest land can help us restore some carbon. So that's basically, based on their definition, kind of come back to our project, what we are drafting our ideas. And here I just provide a little bit kind of background information for the bottomland hardwood forests. So obviously this, ecosystem provides very important ecological benefits as well as economic benefits. So high quality wood products, the water regulation, the carbon storage, as well as it provides a very important habitat for the wildlife. So it used to cover around 30 million acres in the Delta region. But for the past 100 years, we almost lost 70% of them. Just the major reason is because of the land use change, the agriculture conversion, and also the climate change factor, because it's do affect the flooding kind of frequency and intensity. So it affects the hydrology condition for this forest land. So that's, some kind of background information. That's also the primary reason why we wanted to restore this forest land through the forestation practice. And another kind of focus species here is the red oaks. So in this forest land ecosystem, red oak is a very important tree species. So obviously provides high quality wood products. And another very important reason for the red oak species is it provides very important food source for the waterfowl. I am not really sure how many of you went to Arkansas to do some kind of waterfowl hunting, but it is a very important hunting activity to Arkansas, not only culturally, but also economically. So February, I think the hunting season is around from November until February. So every year, the waterfowl hunting bring to Arkansas millions of dollars. So that's why we kind of wanted to focus on the red oak species here. And another focus for our project is the small and underserved landowners. So obviously, they are playing a very important role in restoring this type of forest land. That's because in the Delta region, most of the agricultural land or forest land are under the family landowners. And also, in this project, we try to help those landowners to market the climate smart commodities. So in this case, it can help, to improve their economic situation and also try to help them maintain the working land. And generally speaking, for the small or underserved landowners, they just have very limited access to both financial as well as technical assistance. So with that being said, they probably face more barriers to implement the restoration practices. So that's kind of why we wanted to assist them. So this is another kind of focus or targeted area for this project. And here I just kind of included the 5 objectives for this project because it's kind of a big grant, in forestry. And also it's a very integrated project. It's not only focused on research, but also focused on, some field work and also education outreach programs. So the first objective for us, we just try to recruit or try to assist some, small landowners or underserved landowners try to implement these restoration practices on their property. And then the second objective just try to evaluate the ecological as well as economic benefits for implementing those practices, and also try to quantify the climate smart commodities, and also try to help them or develop markets for those climate smart commodities or services. So those middle 3, that's kind of the research related objective. And then the 5th one is try to, conduct some education and outreach program to, hopefully through this project, encourage more landowners to participate in this kind of project. So that's the objectives for this project. And we do have some kind of partners for this project. So obviously, Arkansas Forest Resource Center, that's the UA system. So we are the leading program, and also we are collaborating with the Keep It in the Family program, which is located in the University of Arkansas and Pebble. So this program is a very good program, try to assist different kinds of landowners. So basically, the Keep It in the Family program just try to help us connect with the small landowners. And then we also collaborating it with Texas A&M University. So I will just introduce them one by one. The UA system, we do have a very diverse kind of program. So we have the Arkansas Center for Forest Business. That's basically just multiple forest economics, forest policy analysis, and also we have the Arkansas Forest Resource Center. So the faculty is just silviculture, forest management, and we are trying to develop the forest health center. So by 2025, I think we will just, have a new building. It's called Forest Health Center. So we will just, have a very diverse kind of background or expertise. So which provide us, a very good foundation to secure the bigger grant. And with that being said, we also have a very diverse graduate student program. So if some of the students here are interested, try to check the University of Arkansas and Monticello, try to see the positions and also the opportunities. And this is the Keep It in the Family program from the University of Arkansas and Pebble. So this program in the South has a very good reputation. It's, their goal just to try to assist different kinds of landowners, big landowners, small landowners, diversity landowners, the Africa landowners, all those kind of landowners. So that's why we are cooperating with them, try to help us, recruit some small landowners from different background. And for Texas A&M University, basically, because I worked there for about 1.5 years, so I know Dr. Jianbang Gan, actually, he is another forest economist. So he has some experience in creating the carbon credit system. So we do have a research question or a research portion in that regard. So I think his expertise is really a good start. So that's why we just kind of collaborating with them also. So, and also we kind of, because of this kind of bigger grant is really, the USDA kind of like to say the regional study instead of just a single state study. So that's kind of another reason to involve Texas. And from here, I just, kind of wanted to introduce, because this project was executed last August. So until now, what we are working on for this project. So the first kind of thing is landowner recruitment. So we already established the project website, if you click on this link, it will just, let you go to our project website. So I'm not really sure if I can just click it here.
Yeah.
So yeah, sure. Can you just help me to click onto the project? Thank you. So yes. So you can see that from this website, there is a very brief introduction for this project. And right now, we only have the project home and also project team. That's basically all the personnel who involved in this project. And with the time going on, if we have some kind of, outcomes, for example, publications or whatever we have, we will just, adding more kind of items under the menu. So stay tuned because it's a 5-year project. So, we still have a lot of work to do for this one. And if you click on the project team, so you can see the diversity of the expertise we have. So in this project, we really involve, economic, ecology, management, as well as wildlife and the soil. Soil carbon is a very important component also. So that's basically this website. Yeah, that's. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's. And for the landowner, we do have some kind of requests for the eligibility. So, if their property wanted to involve in this project, we need to have a very clear title. And another focus, as what I mentioned, because this project is really focusing on the Delta region and focusing on the bottomland hardwood forests. So that's why, based on that map, we kind of targeted those counties for the property we wanted to involve in this project. And another kind of request is the piece of land, it would better handle some kind of agriculture history, because we do have a research question, just try to compare the soil carbon between different land use. So that's why we have this request. Does not work for the pointer. Leave it here. Okay, there we go. So for some benefits to the landowner who participated in this project, for the afforestation practices from the site preparation works such as mowing, spraying, prescribed fire, and also the planting seedlings, and also the 3-year post-planting activities, they were all budgeted in this project. It means this grant will cover all the expenses. So for landowners, they do not need to spend anything. They just kind of provide the piece of property and we will do all the work. So that's, we kind of budgeted a total up to 600 acres for landowners' property. And we always say small landowners, how small it is in this project. It's 20 to 80 acres. That's kind of our targeted range. And the trees, the property, they still 100% owned by the landowner. So basically, we will do all the work and all the stuff still belongs to landowner. So that's kind of the benefits. And they also have some kind of obligations. So after recruiting a landowner, we drafted some kind of agreement, and this agreement already finished the legal processing by the university. So we kind of wanted to sign a contract between the university with the landowner. And in that agreement, it has some kind of detailed description about the obligations, about, what's the eligibility, something like that. So basically, for the first big obligation for the landowners is they needed to allow the project team, including our faculties, our staff, our students, to access their land for about 7 years, because we do have the research question about, site assessments, some survival data collection, the growth data collection, as well as some wildlife habitat quality kind of measurements. And obviously, they also need to allow, the contractor crews to access their property for about 7 years to do the site preparation work, to plant, as well as to do the maintenance. And, they needed to maintain the trees on site for 7 years. That's basically our project time. And whenever we need to access their property, we obviously will let them know in advance. And all the obligations will end after 7 years. So that's basically all the, kind of summarize all the key points for the landowner's obligation. That's the first activity. And until now, we already recruited about 5 landowners. So next week, we will just kind of do the site visitation for their property, just try to measure what's your soil condition, what's the site condition. So just kind of submitting the CPA 52 form. So we just call it an environmental evaluation form. So that's kind of next week we are doing, and it's with a total acreage of 250. So the goal for this year is 300 acres, and the next year will be another 300 acres. So that's kind of the first activity. And then the second activity we are working on is to try to establish the demonstration site. So, we have 2 different demonstration sites in this project. One is located in the Petrie Research Station, so which was I just mentioned in the previous project. It's a 40-acre land from this one. And then we do have another 20 acres from the 5 Oaks. So that's the 2 demonstration sites. And here I just include some pictures for our project team, try to evaluate the site condition, whether it is qualifiable for this project or not. So we just try to select, a piece of land which is eligible to establish the demonstration site. So this basically kind of our project team. And those 3 images actually is from the Petrie Research Station, the 40-acre demonstration site. So we already finished the site visitation and also the environmental evaluation form. And based on the site condition, we just kind of planning to do the herbicide application and also subsoiling before planting the trees. And this one is from, those 3 actually are from 5 Oaks, the 20-acre, and these 2 are from the Petrie Research Station, the 40-acre. So based on that site condition, we need to do some spraying and also the prescribed burning and then subsoil before planting. For those 2 different demonstration sites, we try to finish planting, the oak trees by this fall. So this coming December or this coming planting season, that's kind of, our plan to finish establishing the 2 demonstration sites. And for those 2 sites, we will just kind of keep it there kind of forever, because we will use them to demonstrate to landowners, after how many years, what the forest really look like. Just kind of using them as our outreach kind of program. And for the 2 different demonstration sites, we also have a research question, just try to compare the different planting methods, what's their ecological as well as economic trade-off. So we do have 2 different planting methods. So bare root as well as potted container seedling. So half, totally 60 acre, right? 30 acre will use bare root and another 30 will be potted kind of planting. So then we can just measure the data to compare the ecological as well as the economic trade-off. So that's what we are working on for the specific activities. And because, we do have research component, so we have some personnel that we try to fill. So the first one is postdoc position. It's a 3-year position with very good benefits. And the major responsibility is, collect data, analyze data, draft manuscripts, and also reports, and also focusing on the carbon quantification. So if some of you interested in this kind of project, feel free to contact me. It's a very safe 3-year kind of position located in, Monticello, but we do offer the mixed kind of working. It means, for the field work, you have to be there, but for some other work, you can just work, online or remotely. So, and we also try to recruit a PhD student, which is located in the Texas A&M University. So obviously, this student will also work on the project. So for the field work, you need to travel to Arkansas, but for your other coursework and also your degree will be from Texas A&M University. And we're also looking for 2 research associates. Both of them are 3-year. So the research associate, the first one will work on the soil carbon, and then the second one will work on some other carbon kind of credit system or carbon qualification. So both of them just 3-year with very good benefits. And then a total of 6 different master students. So, for the 6 master students, you really just kind of work on a very diverse kind of aspect. So you have wildlife, we have soil, we have forest related kind of position. So for all those positions, some of them we already post the official announcement online. So just check our university for the positions, and also just directly contact me, and I can share more information about those positions. So with that being said, that's basically just cover all I wanted to share about the project. And I think now I can just open to any questions. Yeah. Thank you.
Questions?
Sure.
That's a really really cool project.
Thank you.
System. I know you said in there, so you're subsoiling the site. So what's the what kind of tillage are you doing? And is that part of the experiment? That are you tilling some sites and not others, or doing different types of site preparation?
Yeah. So basically, for the subsoil, that activity that's really determined based on the piece of land's site condition. And for example, for the landowner's property, if it's not necessary to do the subsoil, we do not do it. It really depends on the site condition, and the subsoil is not really part of our experiment. So it just depends on what's your site condition look like. Is it necessary to do it or not necessary? So because another reason is if we do the subsoil, it will involve some kind of culture assessment. So, as what I mentioned, we need to submit some kind of CPA 52 form before we do anything to the piece of the land. So that form, the USDA actually called it an environmental evaluation form. So it takes a long time to review and approve. So if no subsoil, probably 2 months is good enough to review and approve the form, and then we can do whatever we need to do on the ground, right? But if we do the subsoil, because it involves the soil kind of disturbance, so it will kind of trigger the culture assessment. It will make that review process to 6 months. So basically, you submit the form and wait 6 months, you could not do anything. You're just waiting there, waiting the form to be approved. So that's just, kind of a headache right now for this project. But that's requested by the USDA. So
yeah, I was curious about it, especially in the former pasture lands, because that would really impact your greenhouse gas.
Yeah, that's true.
Budgets, and especially in those really organic, rich bottomlands, you can also have a lot of nitrous oxide emissions when the soils are disturbed.
Yeah. So in this project, we do have a soil scientist.
Nice.
So she is working on the soil carbon, because that's really a very important component for this project. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I imagine the pastures there, if they've been in pasture a long time, have
Yeah.
some huge carbon stocks.
Yeah, that's why we just kind of, you know, yeah.
I mean, what you do with the hydro.
Yeah, I think there is a, you know, as far as I know, I'm not a soil scientist, but when I was talking or drafting the idea for the proposal here, I talked with the soil scientist. I just kind of asking her, is there any publication just compare what's the soil carbon different between different land use or converting or something like that? She just mentioned that not that much, so that's why we just, yeah, sure.
Really interesting project.
Yep, sure.
Yeah, it is. It's a really interesting project. So, I mean, basically, when you're identifying small landowners, it looked like you had maybe 3 reasons. You had like the Hanover, Washington, and then I guess the Rose region.
That's true.
And then what I kind of noticed on that map, it looked like those were being
Yeah.
Are you identifying small landowners too, like within the program, or how are you actually go out and?
That's a good question. So no, for the small landowners for this project, they could not enroll to any other federal related program. So it means from the federal agency, they just explain that you could not use the kind of federal dollar to do the same thing on the same piece of land. So for the small landowners in this project, no CRP, no WRP, just only involved in this project. So just collaborating with the Keep It in the Family program, because you know they, yeah, they saw the landowners for how many years? At least 20 years now. So that program is really.
It's striking because there are organizations. I mean, just that's really have all of their projects through that area. They work with small landowners of the bottomlands to identify projects for the water. It seems like
yeah. Yeah, for this one, it's no, they do not allow us to do that. But the WRP, you know, kind of enrolled property, it really provide, because the WRP, it has a kind of a long history. So it has a different kind of age stands, it 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. So we do have some kind of inventory data for those WRP kind of oak trees. So then, you know, it can, because for this project, it's only 5-year project, and then at max 7 years. So how many years data we can collect if we just plant the trees, right? So the WRP really provides us the inventory data. So that's why we kind of wanted to, you know, hire or recruit some small landowners involved in our project. And also nearby the property, it has WRP property, kind of compare, right? So yeah. Yeah. So yeah.
So is there you use a lot of red oak species, and don't you have like a concern about the disease in the future? For instance, we have oak wilt creeping up in this area, and we don't have on campus yet, but if I travel to the west and along the you know, Lake Michigan area, some areas just got hammered, and it's really disturbing landscape. A lot of red oak species just dying. Don't you have that kind of like in the future?
That's that's really a good question. For the red oak red oak borer, that's the name for that pests or disease, right? So that's really happens on the upland in Arkansas. So in the bottomland, at least until now, no, that's not a very. So basically, we didn't really identify the red oak borer for the bottomland red oak species. But in the upland, for example, in the Washington National Forests, there is some kind of red oak decline. So yeah. So that's really the upland, because in Arkansas, they have the upland and also bottomland. So the national forest, so that's really in the northwest part of Arkansas. And here, the Delta region, that's kind of the east-south side of Arkansas. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do you happen to have the oak species belonging to the white oak, group? They tend to have a resistance against the walkweed.
So in the bottomland, as far as I know, most of them are red oak species. Yeah, no, even though there is some, probably it's very rare, but most, let's say 80% of them at least is red oak. That's the bottomland kind of hardwood species. So yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So in the upland national forests, because for our faculty, we need to kind of do a 5-year proposal. That's the kind of Mark Stanley's kind of grant stuff. So one of my project is really about the invasive species, kind of the forest health related question. So that's kind of in the national forests. I know that there is some kind of red oak beer or red oak broiler. So yeah. Cool. Any other questions?
So, I may ask.
Sure.
So, you have that economic impact of restoration. So, how do you quantify that, and how would this impact the economics in the state?
That's a good question. So, one component in this project, we just try to help the landowners to market the climate smart commodities. So again, the climate smart commodities, that really includes the wood products they produce in the future, as well as the carbon. So we will
something like certified wood.
Yeah.
Like wood coming from the climate smart community.
Yeah. So from that way, we just try to help the landowners, because especially for small landowners, logging is a very challenging problem. It's very hard for them to find a logger if they wanted to harvest their property. So we just, through our connection, we just try to help them market their products. So obviously it will improve their economic situation. So hopefully, so that's why we say that, through doing those kind of activities can help those small landowners maintain their working land, because their economic situation will be improved. And also, if they participated in this project, everything is free basically for them, right? And everything they produce in the future, that's all belong to them. So, and then for the state, so I think as an economist, we will just do some kind of economic contribution analysis, try to see how this kind of project contribute to the, whole state economy. So yeah.
Are you going to look at the recreational activities? Because you mentioned about waterfall hunting, and then there's a lot of wild pig hunting that is famous in Arkansas. I call the people in the south travel to Arkansas for those two game species.
Yeah.
So are you going to include that? Do you think this could increase those activities in those species as well?
I think that's a good point, but for this project, because we are really just focusing on the bottomland hardwood forests, and in Arkansas, for the waterfall hunting is still kind of the most important one. So for this project, we kind of focus on the waterfall hunting, then they really consider the other game species hunting. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any more questions? Any questions? I think we don't have any questions. Okay. I think we have a little bit more time, but if we don't have questions, then thank you all for coming.